Hey, it's Chris, and in this video I'm going to attempt to change a bike stem. I don't want to call it a tutorial because I've never done this before. We will find out how it goes. So first thing, I've got a phone mount. I think this is going to be the first. If I fail here, then it's really not looking good. So this is just held on with little rubber bands. Get that off, yes. First stage found, put that somewhere safe. Okay, next let's unscrew these bolts. So depending on what kind of stem you have will depend on how this works. In fact, I'm going to need to take this reflector off first because it's going to stop me getting to the bolts. So that's the reflector, and I've already dropped one screw, but it is out. Next, I'll take this, and pretty sure I can just begin untightening this. So this one uses a star-shaped Allen key, and I'm going to start just pretty gently. So just unscrewing them a little bit, and then if you just unscrew one, then it puts a lot of stress on the other bolts. There we go, handlebars have come loose. Maybe I did that a bit too much. Okay, that is the bottom two unscrewed. And come down to these bottom ones. I'm just holding the faceplate in place because everything else is going to drop out, I think, when this comes loose. So there's a still screwed in. That might be it. Nope, they're still in there. There we go. And that is my handlebars off, and we can just let those dangle. Next thing is the top cap. So this one is an Allen key. I don't know if the close-up footage is going to be all shaky because every time I rotate this, the whole bike is shaking. Okay, good. Top cap is off, and so now we can get down to these ones, and these ones are Allen key as well. In fact, it's the same Allen key. Again, it will depend on what stem you're using, will depend on what type of Allen key, what size of Allen key. Oh, there we go. So now these should, in fact, that's just come off, and there we go. The old stem is off the bike. And in theory, I'm using, it's an RSA stem I'm replacing it with, and I've just taken an RSM stay off. So, in theory, this should be easy to stick back on. So that's just come off there. Looks pretty much the same. That one's got a bit of a down angle. Maybe it's just because it's longer. So this should, in theory, be pretty easy to bolt back on. Okay, so I think, yeah, there. Let's put the top cap bolt back on. And that looks like it's going to go on perfectly. And I haven't screwed that in tightly. I'm just going to do these up slightly, but not much. And next thing are these. So interestingly, the new bolts on my RSA stem are not the starry ones. And they've already got some grease on them, which is great. And so those are out. Boom. And for now, just going to lightly get these bolts in place. And then we'll worry about the fine detail later. Okay, that's looking good, so the faceplate is on. I'm literally just guessing at these handlebar angles at the moment. So I'm working my way around the bolts, so they all tighten at roughly the same point, and kind of over tighten that a bit. Just loosen it off so we can line it up. I should be able to use, that reflector was pretty plush. So that looks good to me. Hopefully if I tighten this up a little bit, that'll be enough to keep the handlebars in the correct position. It looks a bit too pointed upwards to me. Should definitely have a more scientific way of doing it. There we go. Yeah, let's stick them there. Again, tighten these bolts up. Okay, so next thing then is we want to screw these bolts in. I did see some talk on the internet about using grip paste on the handlebars. My old stem didn't have any in, and this is my old bike that I'm not too worried about, so I'm not going to put any in. Those handlebars are way too low. And let's try and line those up perfectly with the wheel. In fact, let's do this. Most people just seem to do this by eye, but I wonder if we can get a bit more of a scientific. Maybe not with the brake cables in the way. So line the tape measure up with the wheels. That's going to move every time I do that. Okay, that seems good. Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't look correct. Right, let's try that. Let's tighten these bolts up a bit. And hopefully we'll have a bit less play on there. And again, doing the bolts a little bit at a time. I wonder if those handlebars are too far down now. Let's get my other bike and compare. Flat up until the brake hoods, and these are not. So let's raise these up a bit again. So that's pretty much flat. Okay, good. So now we've got pretty much everything in place kind of loosely, and so we want to tighten everything up tighter now. And the first thing we want to do is find out just how tight do we want everything to go. And normally it will say next to the bolt how tight it should be, and I can't see that anywhere, which is frustrating because I've already got my torque wrench handy, ready to show you how to do it properly, and doesn't. Oh, here we go. 6. Okay, yeah, 6 nm. and I can't see that anywhere else on the front. What did it say on my other bike? So my nice physics stem says 1.8, which is nowhere near the 6 on these. First of all, let's find the right size Allen key. There we go. So I've got my torque wrench. Let's try tightening up to 2. That seems fairly safe. Yeah. I've actually gone past it on that one. It'd be really nice if torque wrenches had an indicator. This isn't even going in. There we go. If you copy this, you would be a crazy person. Right. And these said we could do it to 6. But it's never clear whether that's a maximum or a recommended, so I'm going to do it to 5. So that one's fairly easy to do. Let's do this side as well. So that one clicked really easily. So I have a feeling I've messed the front ones up. So I don't even know if I will now be able to untighten these. Yeah, just about. Let's just try this one again. Fuck it, it'll be fine. Okay, final thing is, those wheels are straight, yeah. We will screw in the top cap to a good level of firmness. And in theory, this new stem is now done. Feels okay to me. These bolts could be in horribly tightly. I'm not sure. But officially this stem has now been changed. Let's rejoice. You probably don't want to subscribe to see my bike maintenance videos, because if I do any more they'll be as bad as this, but I have a load of cool cycling videos. So if you have enjoyed me watching me struggle, then hit subscribe and you'll get those right in your feed.